What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build-It video. Today we're going to be talking about the Contest of Mayors for you high-level players. I put together a new Contest of Mayors guide for 2022. It has a lot of the same stuff from the original guide, except for I've added a lot more information. There's a lot of stuff that you guys kind of learn from the videos that aren't necessarily in the guide because it's so much. So we're going to kind of go through that. This guide is for both high and low level players, but I don't want to do a high and low level walkthrough because that would take too long. So we're going to do one video for high level players and one for low level players. Before we begin, if you guys could go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, it boosts up my algorithm, and anytime that you guys can share my videos, it would be much appreciated. You can join us on Facebook at SimCity Build It, MissyAnne and on Discord with the links down below. Okay, so high-level players. Level 25 and up with a regional map unlocked, or level 30 and up with or without a regional map unlocked. That means you are a high-level player. You cannot combine both high and low-level comm techniques. It just doesn't work. Okay? Start streaks around 20 tasks remaining. That's the overall technique for both high and low level players, except for what you secure before the streaks can be a little bit different. For low level players, if you are a low level comm player, it means that you do not have a regional map unlocked and you are below level 30. Now, if you're a low level player, click off this video and look for the low level video for this guide, which will be recorded after this video. So it might not be out just yet, but take a look. There is playlists on the channel that have all been reorganized. This video will be in the low-level Contest of Mayors playlist, and there will be one marked 2022 comm walkthrough. So be sure to check that out. There's also going to be video links throughout this entire document, linking you guys to older videos that still have all the correct information. Okay? All right, so if you're a high-level player, you continue on with this video, and let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that you do is you set the scene, and, well, actually, no, the very first thing you need to do is track your week, okay? Now, a lot of you guys hear this, and you just don't do it. You don't take pictures of your assignments, you don't set up Google albums, and that's not just because, you know, you should be doing, or it's not that you should be doing that for any other reason than for your own educational purposes. Whether I am grading your week or not, you really should take screenshots. It helps you look back on your good doorways and know where you went wrong in your week, okay? I did link you guys some videos here showing you how to set up a Google album. If you are submitting your stuff for review to me, make sure that you watch both those videos and do exactly what I say in the videos. Do not set it up in an Apple photo album if you're submitting it to me, because I will not do it that way, okay? All right, the next one is setting the scene. Now, this is usually done mainly if you're grading somebody's week, which none of you guys should be. Now, either way, this information is very, very important to you. If you are in Mega, then you're going to play with all hands on deck, basically. It means you're all in. Tickets, tokens, cash, coins, whatever. You do what it takes to win. Now, if you are not in Mega, if you're, you know, in a lower league, then you're not going to be giving away, you know, submitting cash and war card upgrades and things like that. You can place on the top of the leaderboard just fine by doing quick, easy assignments. The next thing is your city level, okay? Your city level is going to tell you what level comm player you are and what, you know, how many factory slots you have unlocked, what items you have unlocked, if your storage is going to be enough, all that good stuff. For example, you know, if you're a lower level city player, like let's say you're level 30 or something, or even 40, you don't have all factory slots unlocked yet. So the long factory productions are going to be a lot more difficult for you guys to complete, given that you can't do them in one round. Now, let's see here. Tasks remaining is essential. You cannot even think of coming to the right conclusion on any week without looking at tasks remaining. Tasks remaining tells you if you are pre-streaks, which means that certain things should not be done before, the streaks. If you are within the first 20 to 25 assignments, that is usually when you're going to rotate in your Lung Factory productions, your regional HQ assignment, and your regional coins tasks. Now, depending on how many regional maps that you have unlocked, will determine if you can afford to even do that regional HQ assignment. If you do that regional HQ assignment at the beginning of the week, and you, let's say, only have one unlocked, or maybe you open several of them, then 24 hours rolls around and they're all closed. You get to the streaks and you can't do it. Well, you should have let it sit. You have to weigh out your risks versus your reward. For people who do not have more than one regional map unlocked, it is going to be a lot more difficult for you guys to complete those regional assignments. And that could mean winning or losing as well. So we'll get a little bit more into that later on. Tasks remaining, like I just said, is going to have a lot to do with, when you do assignments. For example, when you're past the streaks, the last 15 assignments is value over opportunity. When you are before the streaks, at 20 tasks remaining, you can take it all the way down to 9 tasks remaining and still complete the streaks. But if you decide to do that, you want to do that with only main tasks to secure Lung Factory productions. Otherwise, you're just taking unnecessary hits on your score. Okay? All right. The next part is a task assessment. A lot of you guys don't do your task assessments, and it shows. So you want to go through and you want to label everything as what it should be labeled as, meaning main, rotatable, no touch cancel, all that good stuff. So this document tells you everything that you need to know about a task assessment, but in short, if you've watched any walkthroughs, you have a pretty good idea of how to do one. Basically, scroll down here. This is where I did the task assessment. Okay. So okay, let's start with the top. A main task is a task in your list that is worth 2,000 points or higher. A rotatable assignment is a task in your list worth below 2,000 points. A no-touch/cancel assignment, which most times high-level players never cancel assignments. There's no reason to. You either leave it to sit, or you don't do it, or you do it, or whatever. It's very rare that you cancel an assignment as a high-level player. Now, you might have some no-touch assignments, such as a monster that is below 2,000 points because of its high algorithm and the fact that it's limited, meaning that it can only be done when it's actually in your city or you have to pay hundreds of cash. It's not wise to rotate that in when it has such a high algorithm unless it's holding one of your 2K or higher place values. Okay? So last resort rotatable is usually a low-level player thing, so we're not really going to talk about that. Basically I guess we could briefly talk about it. Basically, it means that you use it as a last resort before the streaks to rotate in any upgrades or factory productions. Now, for high-level players, you usually would not rotate in those particular tasks because they are not usually of importance to you. Usually you have other things that you can do, so there's no reason to take that kind of hit on your score. That would be coins at any value. Epic. If you don't have epics unlocked on all your maps, then that is an issue. Repair and gold keys at the value of 1,200. Okay? Those tasks have a high algorithm attached to them as well. And that means that they just repeatedly keep coming back, so there's really no opportunity to rotating those. Unless, of course, they're taking up main task value. All right, next one. Let's see here. Limited time means that the task can only be done at a certain time in the game. So, for example, let's say that you have a war delivery. You can only do that when the monster's there or when you're in war. If you have epic, you can only do that when you have an epic, but once you start the epic, you have a timer on that epic. Okay, same thing with regionals. You have timers on those once you open them. Limited assignments are assignments that you can run out of resources to do them. For example, an epic task, you have to have the home at a maximum upgrade to even get that task, be able to do that assignment is what I mean. Not get that task. Get that task done. And let's see. Limited tasks would also include beach and mountain. So then you also have war card upgrades. Those can only be done if you have enough war cards to do them. So you don't want to waste those either. Let's see. Premium. Premium assignments can be worth 3,000 points. Non-premium cannot be worth 3,000 points. High premiums can be worth over 3,000 points. Okay, and by the way, all of the tasks are listed down below in this guide. They're all marked whether they're premium, high premium, non-premium, and they all have value ranges updated with them. That was not in the other guide. Now, this task assessment gives you a brief kind of rundown on what you would do. See how this assignment here, the very top assignment, is in the streaks. That is a main task, or not a main task, it's a rotatable task, but it is a premium. This one has a decent algorithm attached to it, which is a good thing. Problem is it's in our streaks, so that kind of sucks, because that means we won't be able to utilize that until the streaks or after. The next one is a main premium Tokyo delivery, and then a main premium limited time or delivery, main premium limited time Leaf Simoleons task, main non-premium monster, okay, a rotatable non-premium paint, rotatable non-premium feed. For low-level players, you guys do not mark these. Factory productions and shop productions are marked as premium. Okay, for high-level players, they're not. So if you're wondering why sometimes I call them premium, sometimes I don't, it's based on what level, what comm technique you're using. So basically, you get the point. You're going to go through, you're going to label everything. Even if you just label it in your head, saying that you're not submitting this for me to review, go through it in your head and always remind yourself, every time you get a new assignment, say to yourself, non-premium or premium or main or rotatable. It'll help you remember everything that you need to know about each assignment. Because believe it or not, it really does matter that you understand all the algorithms, the risk, the rewards, the values, the value possibilities. It's important that you guys get a mental note of that. And just simply reading the guide once is not going to do that. It's going to be repetition. Repeatedly telling yourself premium, non-premium, rotatable, main. Every time you get an assignment, think about that. Okay? All right, so that's where I went through and I did the task assessment for you guys. Now we're into order of rotation. Now this is extremely important, so pay very close attention. The order of rotation for high-level players is to do your highest main assignment, with starting obviously with your premiums, then non-premiums, premiums with highest algorithm rates. For example, just because something has a value doesn't mean that you do that assignment first. Let's pretend for a minute that the war deliveries was 3,000 and the Tokyo was 3,000, right? Which one would we do first? Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. War is limited, right? Now, yeah, we're probably going to get to the deliveries before war ends. But what else? War has better opportunity, and it's quicker. So war would be the first thing that I would do, okay? It also doesn't cost cash. So you're still going to have to do the Tokyo anyways, but you always look at all the details of the assignment. For example, let's say that we had a war card upgrade there instead of a Tokyo delivery. We would do the war card upgrade because it's quicker. Let's say we had VU for 3,000 versus a war delivery for 3,000. We would do war delivery for 3,000. Okay? So you start with your best valued assignment with the highest algorithm, best opportunity. You're going to go through that whole sequence of variables and determine which one is the best based on pros and cons. All right, now, Once you've done that, once all your main tasks have been rotated in, and you're looking at your list and you have all tasks below 2,000 points, okay? You're going to go with your highest premium. Now, this is extremely important. This is usually right where high-level players screw their whole week up. You have good doorways and bad doorways. Okay, usually your good doorways are your assignments that are at the start of your week. They're either your low premiums or your premiums that are in the top of your list. Either way, they're the premiums on the, usually the premiums on the starting list. Not always, but usually. So if I have, let's say, a 1K Omega at the bottom and a 1K regional house, odds are when I rotate those in, at some point they're going to become my repeat tasks. I'm going to keep getting them throughout the duration of the contest, more than I would if I didn't have them in my list at the start. Now, what a lot of people do is they do their highest valued assignment, because that's what the entire SimCity Build It community has drilled into your head, is that you're supposed to just always work your highest assignment. That is definitely not true, okay? For example, all main tasks are gone. You have all tasks below 2,000 points. You have a choice between a 1,500 Neo coins, a 1,600 Paris, and a 1K Omega. Which do? You do the 1K Omega. Now, a lot of people would be like, oh my god, I'm losing 600 points. No. Yeah, you are, but you're rotating in all your highest premiums, the ones that actually have the ability to come back worth 3,000 points. Once you rotate in all your highest premiums, and your score may drop right offhand, because you're going to be, let's say you rotate in your 1K Omega and you get a low valued assignment in return, then you rotate in all your high premiums, okay? Once all premiums have been rotated in, if you don't get more main assignments, you then rotate your highest non-premium with the lowest possible algorithm rate. But usually what ends up happening is you rotate in a low premium, or your highest premium, and you get a 3K assignment in return. It opens up your good doorways, okay? You have to have the possibility of those tasks coming in. If you play it the other way around, let's say I do my 1K Omega, I get a 3K VU, I get another 2K delivery, a 2K upgrade, I'm rotating all these things in, I'm getting all these good assignments. I'm going to be really glad that I didn't take the 1,500 point Neo coins, non-premium, with all these premiums down the bottom that have zero possibility of coming in. As long as those are in my list worth a low value, they cannot come in my list worth a high value. The entire possibility is gone. You don't want that. You want to at least open up the possibility that those assignments can come in. Every time that I see a high-level player lose, or they can't find their good doorways or whatever, it's because right at that transition where they go from main to rotatables, they screw up and they don't rotate their low premium. They rotate their highest task regardless of anything other than it's just their highest task. They don't think about anything else. Don't do that, okay? Now, if you want proof that it works, you go watch my walkthroughs, the ones that were done by me, and it shows you guys exactly why we do that, and you'll see the exact sequence, and you'll watch me rotate the premium, and then I'll get a 3K task, and then I'll rotate it, and then so forth, and it ends up putting my score way above, and I locate all my good doorways, and I usually don't even have to touch the rest of my list for the duration of the contest. When you have to start rotating your non-premiums, you have the possibility of them covering up your good doorways. So then you end up with the rest of the contest going, why am I getting garbage assignments? And you didn't take any screenshots, so you can't look back and figure out where your good doorway is at. So you want to be very, very, very careful, especially if you're rotating non-premiums with high algorithms, like a monster assignment, keys, repair. You really shouldn't be touching those unless they're main task value. But even so, you want to be careful because, like I said, if they're at main task value, you're rotating them before your low premiums. But if they're not at main task value, if they're at rotatable value, and you rotate them before you rotate your premiums, that means you're going to rotate your premiums after, which means those have the possibility of covering up your good doorways and literally screwing up your entire week. Follow this order of rotation coupled with all the other variables that you're going to be looking at, and you'll be fine. Okay, so let's see here. The order of rotation video is linked there. Now, we're going to talk about which ones you rotate first. So when you are rotating your low premiums, there is an order in which you rotate. You start with your highest premium first. So if you're looking at a list of upgrades, you've got Latin for $1,200, then you've got a VU 1K, you've got a Green Valley 1K, and an Omega 1K. Latin is higher in value and has a higher value possibility of 3,600 points. So Latin would be the first high premium that you would rotate in. After that, Omega becomes the highest because it has the highest algorithm. Okay. Then you go to your regional upgrades, then airport, then design challenge, and regular residential. But usually those don't get rotated in if they're a rotatable value. In fact, they never do. Okay. VU gets done usually between right after the regional upgrades. So right before airport, because it has a higher algorithm. It's just VU is kind of a hit and miss sometimes. So we don't rotate that one in first above everything else. We do the Omega first, the regional homes first, then VU, then airport homes. Okay? So I listed them here, and then I told you guys what you need to know about the VU. Now that's for low-level players. Now high-level players, how to rotate. We just talked about that. I'm going to be putting a video link in there as well. Following a storyline. Now this is extremely important, you guys. When you start off your week, when you guys watch my walkthroughs, I go through and I narrate, okay, this is where they're at, this is what they've prepped, this is what they've done, this is why they've done it. When you just play blindly, when you just do your assignments, and you don't pay any attention to what you're prepping, when you're doing it, why you're doing it, if it's main, if it's not main, you're just like, I'm doing the highest valued assignment. You have to narrate your week to understand why you made the choices that you made so that you can properly make choices going forward. You know, like, hey, I've already done this glass assignment twice. Hey, this is my good doorway. This is what I need to know about this assignment. It's going to make all the difference when it comes to choosing the right task and being successful throughout the week. Just because a task appears to be the right choice doesn't mean it is. You have to look at all variables. I could be looking at a list that has a 1K VU, and I could say, okay, I don't see any other premiums. Go ahead and rotate the 1K VU. But what I failed to mention, or what you failed to mention to me, was that you had already done the VU several times, and it keeps coming back with a garbage amount of points. Or that, that basically would be it. That the VU has come back several times already, and it just keeps giving you garbage. So, in that case, we wouldn't want to do it, right? We would want to try something else. So it really does matter the history of the assignments, the point in which you are at with the streaks and how many assignments you are in, what's prepped. You know, let's say that you have an electrical for 3,000 and you prepped feed. Well, that would be like ridiculous amounts of downtime. For you to have to stop and wait, you might as well just continue working, right? Now, again, follow your storyline. It's very important that you do that. Good doorways. Now, this is something that you need to factor into your decision, but it should not you should not base your entire decision on, oh, it's my good doorway, so it doesn't matter what assignment it is because it's my good doorway, so I'm going to do it. There are usually multiple good doorways on your list. It's just a matter of finding them. So you factor it into your choice, but you don't base your choice solely on that. For example, I have people that will do an assignment that makes no sense why they're doing it other than, oh, it's my good doorway. Well, yeah, okay, but look at all these other pros and cons that you're not thinking about that would change the outcome of your choice. For now, do a couple tasks with better value, better opportunity, and then when this opportunity presents itself again, when it's the right choice, then you can go ahead and uncover one of your good doorways. Don't just assume that you're going to keep uncovering the same doorway repeatedly if it gives you, garbage. Just follow your doorways, but don't do that. All right. Loops and repeat tasks. Now, I do have videos on this. Loops are not as common as they used to be, but basically loops is where you get the same exact sequence of assignments over and over. Now, this could be a good thing or a bad thing. I had a guy that had a VU assignment for 3K and a Tokyo delivery for 3K back to back, no matter what he did, or not no matter what he did. As long as he did the VU for 3K, he got the Tokyo 3K. It takes a lot of VU and a lot of cash after you do it so many times. You can break the loop by doing a different assignment. A repeat task is not the same thing. So every task has an algorithm rate. What that means is its probability of coming back. If the algorithm is high, it means it has a higher chance of returning than an algorithm of a low algorithm. So that being said, okay, you've got these repeat tasks like we were talking about earlier. Let's say that, say you had ladders like 3 times this week. Normally you don't get ladders 3 times, but this week you did. That's because it's one of your repeat tasks, okay? Now, if something has a low algorithm and it's coming back quite a few times, if it's not coming back in the same exact sequence with other assignments, then it's not a loop. It's just a repeat task. Usually, if you rotate your stuff properly, your repeat tasks are your premiums, like VU and Omega. Uptime and downtime. Now, a lot of people have a really hard time with this. There is a huge difference between uptime, downtime, and reverse rotation. Usually the way it works is you do your assignments of good value. Your average goes up, then you get some crappy assignments, and then you get some good assignments. You're like up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's usually a couple of assignments up, then down. Sometimes, though, the algorithm, or not the uptime and downtime is drastic. It's like the first half of the contest is good, but the second half is bad. Or vice versa. Now, reverse rotation is completely different. And you also have to determine if you're actually in reverse rotation or if your good doorways are covered. The only way to know that for sure is to look back on your choices. There will be a lot of times where people will rotate in, and usually this is by their own doing. They'll rotate in their premiums. Then, instead of rotating in their low premiums, like they should have, they do a high non-premium assignment before their low premiums. When they finally rotate their low premiums in, they get covered up by their high algorithm non-premiums, and it blocks off their doorways. They go several assignments in, they say, well, I'm just getting garbage. Why am I getting garbage? Because your good doorways are covered. Well, I don't know which one my good doorways are because I didn't take any pictures. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. So, think about it. Go back, look at the pictures, and figure out where your good doorway is. Now, how you do that, you go through and you look at, okay, when I rotated this, I got a 3K, 2K, 2K, 3K, 2K. And then it was covered up by, it was replaced with, let's say, a 1,500 Neo-Simoleons. Then you rotated something else. You got good task, good task, good task, good task, replaced with a crappy task. Now you just keep, you then rotated something else, and now you've just been getting garbage thereafter. So you have to go back to the point where stuff went wrong. And you have to say, okay, what can I rotate in to get my good tasks back, my good doorway? rotate the one with the highest value, best opportunity, and if it's a non-premium, the lowest algorithm. If it's a premium, highest algorithm. Okay? Now, if you're in reverse rotation, it's not going to matter what doorway you rotate because it's just going to give you garbage forever. Not, oh, I did have a 3K task here and there. Like, you're going to get stuff below 2,000 points no matter what you do. If that is the case, and that is a rare thing to have happen, but if it does, watch the reverse rotation videos because that is a nightmare. But basically, usually your entire leaderboard is also in reverse rotation. So what you're going to do, instead of rotating your premiums, you're going to rotate your non-premiums with the highest value and highest algorithm rate that don't have a risk. For example, Monster has a really high algorithm rate, but it costs too much. So you would go with keys, coins, repair, things like that. This has a high algorithm rate, so if the game is going to give you garbage, then at least it can give you the lowest point you're going to get repair and keys for is going to be 1,200, whereas a premium, it could be as low as 1,000. Usually you're not going to get keys and repair repeatedly for 1,200. It'll be a mix, 1,600 to 2,000 and so forth. That being said, it would be better to not waste all of your resources and have lower valued assignments by doing your premiums during reverse rotation. Now, at some point, you can get out of reverse rotation, and I talk about that in the other videos, but it's a matter of, is it a blocked doorway or is it actually reverse rotation or is it just downtime? All that stuff is completely different stuff. None of them are intertwined together. Okay, so that's where we talk about reverse rotation. Now, streaks. So basically, high-level players have a lot more factory slots, but also have regional assignments. You want to make sure that you are able, spelled wrong, I'll have to correct that, able to complete all of your streaks no matter what. If you have minimal regionals, then you have to be very careful how many you open, and if you don't have the regional HQ tasks secured in your list, same with regional coin assignments. You want to rotate in any long factory productions within the first 20 to 25 tasks, then leave any long factory tasks to sit until after streaks. Unless you have more than enough time to complete them multiple times and the risk outweighs the reward. That's supposed to say unless you have enough time to complete them multiple times and the reward outweighs the risk is what that's supposed to say. I'll correct that. Okay. So basically what that means is that, like kind of the situation that I had with somebody this week was that they had a 2,400 sugar. They had 4.5 days left. They are a high-level player, so they had more than enough time to complete the sugar, even if it comes back multiple times in the streaks. They did not have electrical and feed secured in their main list yet. So they were at 22 tasks remaining. They were going to bed. They had nothing prepped in their factory, so what I wanted them to do was prep the sugar, wake up in the morning, rotate the sugar in, allowing them to possibly secure electrical and feed, okay? They also had a 2,500 monster assignment in their list, which you would not rotate the monster just before the streaks, given the fact that it will come back repeatedly, and your streak assignments are not assignments that you can choose. They're chosen for you. Like, there is no, I'll just do something else. Like, you have to do it, right? Or you fail the streak. So, that being said, she could afford to do the sugar at 2,400 multiple times. And it would have been better to do that and still try to secure electrical and feed rather than just start the streaks right now and leave the sugar to sit. Or rather than lower her average by doing other assignments to possibly secure electrical and feed. point being, the reward outweighed the risk. The only risk that she had was her streaks might take a little bit longer. And she had more than enough time to deal with that issue. She had 4.5 days. So, do you want to end with more time or more points? What ultimately matters? The whole point in you guys moving quickly is so that you can make sacrifices like that if you absolutely have to. Now, if it was a 2400 electrical or even a 3000 electrical, no, we wouldn't do it. We would do it after the streaks. Now, when you guys go to the streaks, basically, you're trying to secure long factory productions before the streaks. When you hit, if you're trying not to use tickets, which is unlikely, but if you are, you start streaks at 24 tasks remaining, okay? If you're not, then you do 20 tasks remaining. You start streaks. If you haven't secured long factory productions or regional HQ or any regional currency tasks that are going to be a problem for you, then you go through and you do your main tasks as long as you're getting main tasks. You do not want to do a bunch of rotatable assignments, drop your average for a maybe, I might secure something. It's not a guarantee. So as long as you're not dropping your average, you can continue to rotate all the way down to 9 assignments. This will allow you to finish the streaks using all 15 tickets. Now, if you don't, and you're able to start the streaks at 20 tasks remaining, that means streaks are over. You don't have to worry about risk anymore. You don't have to worry about anything, being an issue for you or downtime or whatever. You can do your highest valued assignment, because when you get to 15 tasks remaining is when you apply value over opportunity. So it doesn't really matter if you have opportunity when you're going to be running out of assignments soon. Why does it matter if 2500 monster is a high algorithm assignment when you have pretty much no tasks left anyways? So if you're at, let's say, 3 tasks remaining and everything in your list is below 1500 points, like way below, like 1000, why wouldn't you do the 1500 monster when you only got a couple tasks left, right? Now, think about it. If value trumps opportunity for the last 15 assignments, then the same thing could be said for just before the streaks. Right around 30 tasks remaining, or 20 tasks remaining, you're going to apply that knowledge. And you're going to say, okay, you know what? I can't afford to lower my score like I just explained to you guys. So you want to try to secure what you can. But it is very, very important that you move as quickly as possible the first day to 2 days of the contest. When you guys slack off, you also have to determine what else you're sacrificing. For example, that same player had another scenario this week. She had the monster for 2,500 points at the beginning of the week, and it was going to cost her some cash to bring it in. A person in her group screwed up their war schedule, and she was unable to do the 3K rare war attack that had come in. So she had a choice. She can take downtime and do the rare war attack and let the monster sit, or she can pay for the monster, possibly get the rare war attack done, and get the monster done because it needed done. Or she can sit there and waste downtime. Now, the real kicker was that she had already opened up one of her regional HQs, so it was a waste of a regional HQ time. You do not want to waste your regional HQ time. You can't afford to take downtime when you open up your regional HQs. Okay? So pay very close attention to that. But the other thing was, sometimes the opportunity won't present itself again to do that assignment for a long time. Now, it got to a point where by the time another opportunity had presented itself to do the monster, she was too close to the streaks to do it safely. So it basically sat there for the duration of the contest and held one of her 2.5K place values. Now, if she would have rotated it midway, it could have covered up one of her good doors, which would have been even more of a nightmare. So it's very important that you guys pay attention to when you take your downtimes after opening your regional HQs, and when you are going to, you know, make sacrifices on cash. Yeah, it was like 60 or something cash, but you know what? It's no more than a Tokyo delivery assignment, and it's better than losing, which ultimately she's going to lose this week, probably because of that mistake. So that really sucks, right? Okay. High-level players almost never do coins or keys and repair below main task value. Coins never go up to main task value, but repair and keys do. So if they're not at main task value, you almost never do them, unless you're in reverse rotation. This is the list of stuff that you need to use caution when rotating before streaks. Epics, if you don't have multiple maps or epics available, you need to be very cautious. Neocoins, long factory productions. Okay. Some players experience losing neocoins or regional HQ bubbles if they have an epic active on that specific map. So if you have an epic going on your capital, you could lose your neocoin bubble. I have not experienced this, but I've had a couple of players in my group say that they do. If you are on a regional task or a regional map and you have an epic going on a regional map, you could lose your regional bubble. Both high and low level players who want to... Okay, I told you that. That's for low level. Okay, learning the rules of every task. That's going to be a huge part of the video. That's going to be for part 2, so we'll start part 2 next.